and welcome to chapter 22 of Fantasy Knits, a Traveling Knitter. This is my podcast hosted by me. My name is Steph, and I am coming to you from Dayton, Ohio. It is Tuesday, June 20-something. I don't remember what day it is. Not because I'm off on summer, but because I just don't remember. Welcome to the podcast, and thanks for clicking on my face. So today, I know this is coming like at a weird day time. I typically podcast on the weekends, and then it takes me several days to upload. But I am just about to go to Germany for my vacation. So I'm leaving on Friday to drive up to Chicago and then fly out from there. So I really wanted to get a podcast in before then. And of course, while I'm in Germany, I will probably be taking pictures, and I'll put that in the next podcast. So let's go ahead and get started because I have a completed quest, and that is this guy. This is my Hitchhiker shawl by Martina Behm that I finally completed. It's out of two colors, clearly. This guy right here is Bad Amy Knits in her single ply Asparagus colorway. And the gray is Plymouth Yarns Linaza in the 500 black. It is quite gray. I have to say this is probably not my typical shawl. I actually found it rather boring to knit, and I was so ready for this to be done. I do like the little stripe that I added, and switched back to the green. I don't really have that much of the green left. I did not have enough to make another tooth and to be able to bind off. I ended up with 51 teeth. The pattern is 42. I knew 42 was going to be way too short, so I just went a bit further. You can see my gauge of the fabric that I got in the gray section is see-through, so it's a lot looser. I didn't switch needles or anything. The yarn is just thinner than the single ply, which is pretty soft and squishy. I just love single ply. It's definitely my favorite, and I think it ended up looking really nice. So just like that. I'm happy for it to be done. Of course the ends aren't woven in like normal. I'm gonna have like an end weaving in party one of these days. I've been working on getting the craft room a little bit more settled. I think I definitely want another shelf over here. I saw one on Target. I think it's meant for your kitchen. It's got wheels, but it had a nice wooden top to it. So I thought that would be nice to cut fabric and things. So I'm thinking of getting that, and I would be able to put more yarn away and off of the floor. But right now I have my finished projects that need their ends woven in. I have them hung up in the closet of the craft room, so it's a little bit more visual and a reminder you need to get this done sometime. In regards to the current quests, can you hear that? Side note, someone moved in above me this week or last week. It's been a lot louder here. And it hasn't been bad. It's just whenever the door, like this person's door opens, it sounds like my door opens, which is a little disconcerting because then I'm like, ooh, did I lock the door? I'll talk about the end why I'm concerned with my front door. But on my current quest is my Tokerau Shawl by Francoise Danoy. So I'm actually getting pretty far along here. So far that I had to attach a connector. So these are my Knit Pro Royals or Royales. They're a wood shaft with a metal tip and connector. And then the cords, you get a connector. So these are 2 cords attached with this connector. It's definitely, like, it's not a flat. It's going to be, it's curving in. It's not like a straight top. Gosh, shawls can sometimes be so annoying to show. And this is how far I am. So here's the beginning. There's the first lace section, and I'm on to the second bud section. So let me just show you the texture there. So those are bud stitches. They're actually super easy to make, and the lace was also super easy. And so I'm just trucking along with it. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely, like, to me, this is pretty mindless, so I'm able to do this while I am on the phone or I'm watching a WebEx or something at my work. So that's been nice. Am I loving it? No. I don't know. Maybe it's the colors. I like the colors, but I'm not in love with them. But I'm enjoying it, but I'm already thinking of my next shawl. I would love to have this done before I went to Germany. I highly doubt it. I sincerely highly doubt that that's gonna happen. But I would love to have it done. I will most likely bring it with me, but I also want to cast something else on. I've been feeling just this itch to cast something on. Anyway, I've talked about the yarns multiple times before I even started this, but this is Woolfield Chartreuse on Loose. This is Knit Picks Tonal Hand Paint in the Newport colorway. And this is an 80/20. That is in my fringe bag. Fits very nicely. My second active quest is my crochet blanket. This is a pattern called Rainbow Road blanket from, it's a book. I'm not doing any of the color changes or anything because my yarn is doing that for me. But this is how far I am. Quite a lot farther than the last time I showed it. So I made a lot of progress here. I'm actually onto the second skein, and with the second skein I have almost wound all of it up. So I wound this much of the skein, but then there was a knot, so I undid the knot and I've got a whole bunch just like in a tangled mess that I need to get to. But yeah, so I mentioned it before, but my end goal with this blanket and the second one that I will make with this color is to have 2 blankets, or just blankets ready for whenever someone that I know has a baby, because I failed epically this year. 2 of my friends had babies. I was so excited to make sweaters. Did I make any? No. Did I buy yarn? Yes. Yes, I did. Some really nice yarn too. It's from Wool. So yeah, got this blanket and I love it. I think it's so awesome. So cool. I might, when I'm done, crochet around it in maybe like a solid color, maybe a tan or a white or a gray. Potentially, maybe. I think that might tie in very nicely with it, but who knows? I could just leave it as is. I keep that in this Amazon bag that I've mentioned also before, that if you gift wrap, the bags are really good project bags. My third quest is not a knitting or a crochet quest, or what? It is a cross stitch. We're covering all the boards today. Tokerau Shawl is knitting, blanket is crochet, and this is cross stitch. Ta-da! Wow, you got real far. You did a lot. I can tell what this is gonna be. It's gonna be this guy. Isn't that the cutest? So this is Louise and Henry, or Lois, or Louis. I want to say it's Louise. And this is by Little House Needleworks. And I have all of the floss in the back, so it does ask for some more expensive over-dyed threads. Or as Chelsea from Priscilla and Chelsea on the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, she calls it fancy floss, which makes sense because it is fancy, costs a little bit more. And then there's some DMC in there. So I am trucking on that. This linen is called Vintage Lakeside. It's a 28 count in the colorway Pecan Butter. So I am stitching 2/2, which turns this essentially into a 14 count. And this is what the back looks like. I don't care if people see my back. I definitely don't carry as much as what I used to after watching other people. And since this is over dyed thread, I'm actually kind of going around and around, which I never would have thought to do until watching other cross stitchers. So, so I'm doing it. Yeah, and the reason why I didn't stitch like centered is because I would like to attempt to use this for something else. I have so many patterns that are like super tiny. So I figured I'm gonna end up putting this on sticky board because that's what Priscilla and Chelsea do, and I like their style. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to finishing cross stitch stuff. So I want just a little bit extra so that I can do something else with it. And I kind of measured it. Literally, it's gonna be from here to here. So it's this area. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is a Q-snap for those that maybe don't normally cross stitch. This is a Q-snap. It just keeps your stitching here, so clearly it keeps it there. Just keeps it so that it's a little more taut, easier to use. You can use a hoop. I quite like this. I hate hoops. I struggle putting fabric inside of hoops. This was a bit easier. And then this guy is, it's like a needle minder. It's basically a button magnet thing. So there's my needle on here and it just stays there because it's a magnet. See? So you don't lose it and then later step on it. All right, so that takes us to on the horizon. I don't have anything specific on the horizon, but I do know something's there. As I mentioned, I'm going to be flying over to Europe and then obviously flying back, and I'm just really, really craving casting something new on. I really want to cast on another sweater. I really should finish the sweaters that I have, but they're just not drawing. I should start something that has no seams. That's what I should do for a sweater. Start a sweater that has no seams. Maybe I'll just start a sweater and that will be what I bring to Germany. Now I'm thinking. So nothing specific on the horizon, but definitely I'm just wanting to cast something on. Now Smaug's Trove, or Smaug's Trove, I wanted to talk about these guys. What? This is Loops and Thread, and it's called Joy DK. What? Michaels is selling DK in like a gobstopper ball type deal. I had to buy it. This is the Piña Colada colorway. It is dark gray, light gray, like a oatmeal color, and then a tannish color. And then this guy is a cool tone taupe. I thought the two would look really nice together. And then this guy is the Latte colorway. So the striped one is 232 yards. The solid is 273 yards. I don't know why companies do that. Why, they're both the same yarn, does the stripe one cost the same amount as this, but come with less. It's just annoying. But I was pretty excited to see Michael selling something like that. And for the last official segment, we have a novel idea. So, for a novel idea, the book I want to talk about is this guy. This is The Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is her third book in the series. I have the other two. So this one just came out, and this is coming with me to Germany. I'm trying to keep my physical books at a minimum. I am queuing up my Kindle. It's getting ready. I'm grabbing lots of books from the library, but this one is coming with. Now, I'm really excited for this. I'm not so excited about the cover change. This is what the first one looked like. Look how beautiful that is. It's so beautiful. It's got this like nice glossy, like rubberized cover. Then you've got this one. Look how nice it looks with this one. So beautiful. And then you have this one. Now, before I talk about why I should change the covers, I just want to say, this is not a book that I would just pick up. This? Yes. I would pick it up because of the cover. This? No. Why? Because this looks like some stupid, like adult, lame-o fantasy book. Like this looks like this could be a Dungeons and Dragons cover. The reason why she changed it was because of this day and age. She felt that there needed to be more diverse covers, more, is it like more brown people, more African American, more blacks, more color. So let's just look at the covers for a second. So if I flip it over, these are the new covers. So this one right there, the red one, so that is the first one, and then the blue one is the second one. For a cover change, I don't think this represents other cultures. The person is red and the people are blue, the people are green. In addition, the main character is white still. The main person on this cover is still white. I understand why you did it, but I don't think it was executed well. And now my books don't match. I'm so petty, but for people who collect books, I think you understand. At least the spines look okay together. They still don't look amazing. So I'm a little disappointed in the cover change. I am not disappointed in the reason. I'm just disappointed in the execution. And that this one will, like, they are not going to make covers that look like this. So that is my novel idea section. I didn't even really tell you about the book, did I? Basically, you've got two main characters, a man and a woman. The woman is now a spy, but she's a slave. And she finds the resistance and agrees to be the slave, to be a spy for them to help find her brother who has been imprisoned. The man of the story is at the training fortress facility where she is essentially a slave or a servant, and he is training to be a Roman-esque assassin. So you follow or you meet them in this book, and then they had to plan in this book and execute said plan, and then who knows? I haven't read this one yet, but I am super pumped because this one ended on some deep shit. This one I'm sure is going to pick up right from there. Highly recommend. Find it at your local library if you don't want to buy it. Okay, so officially, which I think I already said, the last segment is the one where I talk about my life. And I think I labeled it Life as I Know It, potentially, maybe? I don't remember. Hopefully that's what I named it, and if I didn't, I'll rewatch some of my other stuff. So, I've already mentioned I'm going to be on vacation. So excited. It's been a stressful several weeks. Basically since I moved in, it's been a little frustrating. I alluded to it on the last episode that I was dealing with Amazon for 3 weeks to try and return this bed, which they then took and then brought half of it back. So then I ended up having to drive it to a UPS, which is the whole thing I was trying to avoid because I don't have a car that's big enough. So that fiasco was dealt with eventually. And then my apartment complex decided to basically turn my apartment into a reno. And they cut a hole in the ceiling, and then that hole proceeded to be there for almost this whole month. I went and talked to them because there was just, like, they had a set timeline, they broke the timeline, whatever. So I talked to them several times, and what was the biggest problem, at least for me, was just there wasn't good communication. The very first communication I receive, I'm not told they'll be entering the apartment. They being the construction company. Come to find out, the apartment complex was unaware that the construction company would be entering the apartments. So that's concerning. And then, for whatever reason, my crew didn't finish the job. They said that there was an incident and that is why they weren't able to finish it. Great. Not addressed, not brought up to me until I have to ask, why is there still a hole in my ceiling? So then the contractor comes out and says, you know, we'll do it this day and this day, Wednesday by the latest. Well, Wednesday arrives and they haven't done it. So I had taken Monday off to get my washer and dryer put in and work from home, and I had 6 strangers, 6 strange men inside of my apartment while I'm attempting to work. So that was really good. I did not accomplish a lot because they had power tools going for several hours. So then, you know, Wednesday rolls around, I am just really stressed, so I decided to take a sick day. So, on Thursday, I am woken up a little before 9 by strangers inside of my apartment. I'm sleeping in bed. And I prefer to not wear pajamas when I sleep. So, yep, strangers came in. I was not clothed. It just really made me mad. So I immediately, you know, put some clothes on, took a shower, and went to my apartment people and aired my anger in a polite way. Like, I didn't yell at them. I just said, you know, I need someone to address this because there are strangers in my apartment when they're not supposed to be there today. So they finally get it done, and this week I came home and there was a gift card on my table. So at least they realized that that was a super inconvenience with all of it. But so I've been kind of stressed with that piece. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to vacation, and I've planned some stuff. I really want to go to France, and I looked at the travel situation. We can drive to France or to Paris, and we can drive through Luxembourg. So it's about 2 hours-ish from Frankfurt to get to Luxembourg, and then it's an additional, I think it was like maybe 4 hours to get to Paris from Luxembourg City. So that would be nice to do that. It would also be nice to go to Berlin. I'm not really sure, but I'm excited. So I'm going to be taking lots of video and pictures. I'll probably post that, and I might be changing my intro video. So if you watch my intro video, the clips are, it's not all from the same trip, but it is going to the same airports. So my goal had been to change it every time, but in the end it just took too long because you had to, I use a really crappy video editing software. But the airports that I go through are LaGuardia or JFK. I can never remember the difference. Like, I know one has the train outside. but I just can't ever remember which one's which. So it's either JFK LaGuardia that I fly in and out of, and then I land at night. I think if that's still in there, that's Dayton Airport, and Charlotte Airport is the moving sidewalks. I did have O'Hare in there, or maybe it was Midway. Whichever, maybe it's Midway. Whichever the one where you're, there's the lights that are going up, unless it's Atlanta. Oh, these airports blend together. But I might do some different footage at the beginning for my airports. Just because. So yeah, I've got that going, and then the following week, immediately after I come back, the next weekend, I'll be back in Chicago for Warp Tour. It's the very last Warp Tour, and I'm going, and I'm so excited. I used to go to Warp Tour actually not that long ago. I was a late bloomer to the Warp Tour thing. Basically, I didn't have a car. I didn't have the freedom of my teenage years. I had no transportation, so couldn't go do stuff like that, but I did start in college, so really excited for that. And then Stitches Midwest happens a couple weeks after that. We're gonna go to a crew game. Oh, other news, World Cup is on. I'm a big soccer fan, so I attempt to follow it. I don't have cable, so it's a little hard. I just follow some live tweets and things like that, but yeah, also attended an FCC game, which is FC Cincinnati. It's soccer team. They are going to be in the MLS next year, which is super exciting as well. And if the crew stays in Columbus, then we'll have FCC and the crew, and we'll be able to go to 2 different games. All right, so yeah, I'm a soccer fan. I think that is just about it. It's a pretty short episode, but you know, sometimes they're short. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.